Guys, we are back with Three Stupid Dogs. Abel? I think Abel's.
Wow.
What?
Oh, there he is. There he is. There it is. Oh.
All right.
He sounds like he sounds like Mojo Jojo when he turned into a dog.
Yeah, he's like Mojo Jojo if he got mutilated.
No, Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls. He got turned into a dog in the first
Castrated,
episode.
there it is.
I think I was doing like this bit from Tom and Jerry where he was impersonating a dog and he gets caught. He's like, bow, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Classic.
No. All right, guys. That was the weirdest introduction ever. Let's fucking keep it. With me, I have my dirtbag dogs, Abraham Lincoln.
Howdy.
And Eric the Menace West.
Bow wow.
Bow wow wow. Yeah, poor Mojo Jojo. He was just a little experimented fucking monkey, and they would just beat the living crap out of him.
They would beat him. Yeah, he did conspire to take over the world a few times, but he really was misunderstood. Don't get me wrong.
His brain would pop out in some episodes. Remember when they take him to prison? It's like his helmet would be cracked. His brain's
if his helmet
like,
comes off, it's his big ass brain, and it's technically the professor's fault because he was doing a really bad job of taking care of his chemical management. But he blames the monkey. He's blaming a semi-sentient creature. I'm like, come on, dude, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, white people, I tell you, I'm sick of
justice for Mojo Jojo.
All right, Eric, what's on the table, Eric?
Oh, speaking of experiments gone wrong, we have the Liver King. So I mean, first of all, like we've heard about the Liver King since fucking 2020. He built this giant reputation for himself on TikTok. And so hear me out. He built an empire on Instagram and TikTok preaching ancestral living, no shirts, lots of raw liver, sun and squats. And so that was the rise of him. He was popping off, but then people started calling him out for not being natty. It led to leaked emails revealing massive steroid use, despite claiming he was natural. And so, most recently, who cares? Who cares about the Liver King? We all know that he's full of shit, right?
Yep.
It's
right.
It's
Liver Queen.
It's a story of a dude, huh?
Liver Queen, you mean? Yeah.
Oh. It's a story of a dude who went full primal until the internet finally canceled him. His name is Brian Johnson, the Liver King. He built a brand around eating raw organs, lifting heavy, pushing that ancestral lifestyle I mentioned. But the only liver he was really on, what was it? He was overworked, trying to process 12K worth of steroids a month. I didn't realize how much he was doing, Jesus Christ. But most recently...
And he lied about it.
Oh, he to this day, he can't go on Joe Rogan because he won't be honest about his steroid use. And so now he has this whole thing against Joe Rogan. And so he recently popped off saying that Rogan would better watch himself for criticizing him. Okay, so that was the most important thing. But you've seen the videos, Papa Nasty. You've seen what he was doing.
Well, yeah. Liver bitch went after the fucking papa of podcasting, Mr. Joe Rogan. And he was making some crazy videos, all because Joe Rogan wanted him to be on the pod. And actually, Joe Rogan didn't even expose him for his steroid use. That was actually Derek from More Plates, More Dates. There also was another dude called Johnny Bravo, who's like an investigative journalist, YouTuber dude who's exposed lots of fucking these wannabe alpha dudes. And yeah, he talked about fucking Liver King being a piece of shit. His supplements were not the quality that they talked about. The fact that he preaches, eating your ancestral stuff and living the style and sleeping on wood floor and, putting your balls to the sun and your asshole to the sun. And then he's taking, you hear him, $12,000 fucking dollars worth of steroids, which is crazy because homeboy's overpaying.
His supplement company was raking in over $100 million a year for a while. And so now,
oh my God,
it's probably not doing quite those numbers. And so what, like has he really just fallen to the wayside of not being able to uphold his lifestyle? Like he's crashed the fuck out. He's clearly abusing drugs, not taking care of his mental health.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's what the Johnny Bravo guy also talked about in his recent video. If you guys go look it up, that he was, that he has proof. He's going to expose later on, but he talked about that. This guy's probably on meth. He's also on a bunch of other things. You see his, you see one eye pupil bigger than the other. You see him fucking having the weird marked up face. You see him just talking about not sleeping, the bags underneath his eyes. I mean, that's heavy heavy drug use, or at least something.
Yeah, icing on the cake is the most recent thing that Abel, we mentioned it to him earlier and he said he hadn't heard it yet, was he's posting these videos right now of him being in Texas where Joe Rogan is. He has a van, a car with guns, with bombs,
Yep.
with
Yep.
dogs. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it's insane. He has like a bunch of shit in this car and he's filming these videos where he's like, I got to protect my own. And you know, that old Rogan, you know, he don't need no protecting. So I'm gonna find him. You better be careful. And it's even crazier than that. It doesn't even make sense, but he's rambling on and on about it. So he got arrested.
Detained.
Yeah.
He was detained for 24 hours. And then they let him out with a restraining order against Joe Rogan. And so he goes on to post another video about how he was granted the gift of a restraining order and how, I can't say his name, but let's call him Mo, last name Rogan. I'm still looking for you, bud. Like, blah,
Let's
blah,
call
blah.
him Rojogan or something like that.
This piece of shit.
Fucking
Guys, are we gonna
crazy,
go?
dude.
Are we gonna go fight Liver Bitch? Are we gonna go down to Texas and fight
Joe
him? Who's down?
Rogan's basically going through what lots of unfortunate women have to go through when they deal with their psycho ex. Cops just let him go because technically he hasn't done anything wrong. Like, he is openly threatening him. And yeah, the cops just let him go.
And he legally possessed all those items, I guess?
And I don't know if they have reason to, but then again, cops will just take everything off your person and refuse to give it back to you because they feel like it.
Wait a minute. He was in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We might I add. So he could have an arsenal in his car and get away with it, apparently.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Maybe if the Liver King tanned his skin a little bit darker brown, maybe they would have deported him.
Oh,
There it
man.
is.
Abel, dude. Abel. Anyway.
I mean, can he prove he's a citizen of the
Oh,
United States?
Oh,
Very
my
likely, yes.
Abel, God damn. Okay.
No, because they don't fucking care.
Okay. Let's try to go into the eye of the mindset of the Liver King. Okay, if you are going to try and if someone did you dirty, right? And you want to prove you're an alpha dude, which is what he's trying to do. Why the fuck would you want to bring a bomb and some guns? Like, if you're going to fight him man to man with your fist. Don't fucking bring a weapon like a little bitch.
Bro, he's methed out. Like you said.
He's so insecure that he got bothered by what a guy said to him on the internet, so he drives all the way to Texas to try and kill him.
Or at least make it look like that. Why would you do that and then post about it?
That's just how dumb he fucking is.
Because he's an online star, so he needs validation. He posts that stuff because he wants people to validate his feelings and tell him, yeah, you go fucking kill him. And he also likes the attention.
Was it the social media that fucking made him this way, or was it the drugs and steroid use?
There's an interesting bit that I heard where this guy was like, you know, in the 90s we had ads against drugs, you know, avoid drug use, you know, all these things like saying be careful. It's like nowadays we need social media ads where it's like, you know, don't get on the high of social media. He got on the quick fix. He got on the social media Haktua trend of get rich quick, get popular quick. But then, dude, your reputation gets destroyed. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Dude, the faster they fucking rise up, the faster they're going to drop off the face of the goddamn planet. And he is clawing. He saw $100 million in his bank and he did not do it right. He didn't put it all away. He didn't save it. He didn't put it in, but he's not smart. What was he doing before this? He couldn't have been rich.
I think he was just a like average Joe dude, like fucking. No, he worked. I watched a little bit of the Netflix documentary. He was a sales rep for a company. He also was like the personal trainer, and he was like very average looking. And then fucking as he got older, he fucking jumped on the juice, and then fucking got crazy jacked, and then started being a social media presence. But I know he was a salesman of some sorts, and he made pretty decent money. He was like a top sales rep.
So it all comes back to sales. His entire career is built around selling stuff to people.
But the problem with the sales thing was that his sales were not legitimate. He was doing some sketchy shit. He was either like fucking, you know, strong arming people, or he wasn't actually making. I forget if he was strong arming people, or he was you know, cutting them certain deals, or he was fudging his numbers. He was doing something like he wasn't really doing like he was a badass in the sales world, but in actuality he actually was like fucking his shit up. He wasn't doing a good job.
Kind of reminds me of the meme that they call like the failed career to grifter pipeline. Like, oh, well, my career went kaput because I was doing sketchy shit, so I'm gonna go on the internet and start selling people bullshit to make money, which is what he was doing as the Liver King. And now he's crashing out because that's backfired on him too.
Well, I guess I think the most important question to ask out of all this is, do we vouch for
me?
Not at all. Okay, kill. Do you want to kill, watch, marry him, guys? What do you got?
I don't think we could say we want to kill him on the podcast.
Oh yeah. Kill, watch, marry his content. Kill, watch, marry his content. Poor guy.
Yeah. We are gonna.
Probably kill his content. Poor dude.
I'd unalive his content. That way we can pass the filter that says you can't say you want to kill somebody. I'd unalive his content.
Yes. So if it's not Liver King, we do got. If not Liver King, who's just completely tarnished his reputation, James Gunn of currently DCU has not tarnished his reputation. He's building a strong case for himself in everything we've seen. Recently, he's came out and talked about, he's had recent interviews for Superman Legacy, and basically everyone keeps criticizing Superman, but what he actively says is, this isn't your average Superman. This is early Superman. This is beatable Superman. Someone could actually take this motherfucker out.
Yeah, this is young Superman. This is him, a boy coming to a man, right? Him, he's a young boy man.
It's in his early 20s, very early 20s.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, he should be a little bit stronger, but I mean, if that's what the angle he wants to go with, I think we got to let James Gunn, let him cook. He did good by Peacemaker. He did good by Suicide Squad. Let the man do his thing.
Allegedly, Gunn stated Superman's challenge isn't that it isn't his power. It's his morality in a flawed world, right? Because we think of the Boy Scout that is Superman.
Yeah, finally,
but what
someone
about
who actually understands Superman?
And so, yeah, exactly. So, but like, this is if he's in reality, his Boy Scout nature isn't gonna work. Also, it emphasizes the internal struggles over godlike strength, because that's exactly what he has. Also, he confirms that Lex Luthor and other villains can hurt him, not just physically, but ideologically.
I mean, Lex Luthor he's at his best when he tries to intellectually challenge a Superman and his morals rather than trying to put on a fucking super suit and go toe-to-toe just to get his ass whooped.
No, I mean, honestly, guys, it comes down to what I talked about earlier. TikTok is bad. We need to get off it. No, I'm just kidding. No, TikTok's not that bad.
But Stan Lee said, whoever wins the fight is whoever the writer wants to win.
Yep. I heard they made a villain, like just a completely new villain to give him. Like, it's the guy that looks like a Juggernaut, like looks like Juggernaut, kind of. That's like giving him a fucking beating.
In the movie or in the comics?
No, in the trailer for the James Gunn movie. They made a whole new fucking...
I haven't seen the newest trailer yet. I'm trying to hold off on watching anything about it, so I just go into the movie blind, more or less.
I'm watching the trailers, but I'm not watching the trailer breakdowns because it just spoils so much. But it's just, it's so hard to not to want to watch those.
Unless it's new rock stars, in which case they get me excited for shit that doesn't even happen.
Dude, they go deep and they get like with the theories. They're just like, oh, maybe that can happen, and it doesn't fucking happen. Then you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, I stopped watching new Rockstar shit after WandaVision. He had me so hyped up.
Haha, let's go. That's funny. Dude, he really led you.
Yeah, he was reaching so fucking hard. He was like Michael Jordan in Space Jam reaching, just going for that fucking basket hoop. Just
that's
like
funny.
At the time they made a lot of sense and got us all excited, and then we were like, fuck this. It also didn't help in retro, like afterwards when the writers of WandaVision said, oh yeah, they didn't have us like read any of like the fucking lore of the Scarlet Witch, so a lot of that shit was just pure coincidence.
Eric, what were you gonna say, buddy? Little buddy.
Oh, I was just gonna talk about, what is it, Guy Gardner? Is that who the Green Lantern is?
Yeah, the Green Lantern, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking, he's looking crazy.
I hope he's gonna be a fucking asshole.
He looks so ridiculous.
I know, that's why I said I hope Nathan Fillion plays him like a dick.
Yup.
Oh yeah, he got it.
Spoiler. This is a spoiler. Different ways he's using his powers. There's you see a bunch of tanks around him to stop him. I don't know why. and he's flipping them over with his fucking green powers. And one of the things he does is like a flip off hand to flip over one of the tanks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's badass.
I'm also excited to see live action depictions of Mr. Terrific and Hawk Girl too.
Random tangent. There is a comic book series, if I remember correctly, where Lobo gets I think it's a green power ring because there's like a crisis or whatever. And he is using a penis to smack the shit out of villains or a certain villain. There's like a big team up. And he's just being a menace like that. So that's when I saw that, that reminded me of that comic book series.
Speaking of Lobo, didn't they confirm that Jason Momoa is going to be playing Lobo in something?
Yes, he fucking is. I'm so
the most perfect actor for Lobo, and they finally got him. Thank God.
That's fucking going to be great.
I still remember when I saw Lobo for the first time in Injustice. I had no idea who the fuck he was. I remember Eric mentioned him prior, but it was just so funny that he was a DLC in Injustice shortly after Eric told me about him.
Oh, I found like a random. I literally found like a random comic book at Ron's because it was in the dollar bin, and I'm like, this guy looks crazy. What the fuck? And going down the rabbit hole of Wikipedia, finding all the DC stuff and figuring out who Lobo is. So, a quick discussion because this kind of goes back to not only Superman but also Batman, because the most recent Batman, Robert Pattinson. Is this the right direction for Superman or superheroes in 2025? Have audience outgrown flawless, unstoppable heroes? Do we want that more vulnerable year one, year two, wrestling with your, wrestling with your morals? Might be sexuality. I could see them.
Hey.
Both sides.
Maybe Lex resents Superman because he's everything he wishes he could be. I mean, that is essentially the core of Nicholas Hoult, the Beast. What's his face in Nosferatu?
In Nosferatu, yeah. I just saw Nicholas Hoult in the menu, and he pisses you off so much.
He's good at playing bitch characters.
Yeah, that's sad to be typecasted as such. But he knows his role and he plays it well.
Yeah, he's gonna fucking kill it as Lex Luthor. He's gonna kill it.
Abel, if you were typecasted as like the computer guy, would you not fucking capitalize on that shit and get that paycheck?
What about that guy who plays Hector in every movie?
Oh, the Mexican dude, yeah.
Yeah, the Mexican dude in every movie, his name is Hector.
Hector, yeah. And he fucking has to, and I think, no, that's Danny Trejo that has to die. If he plays a villain, he's like, I have to die in every film.
Yeah, I was adding on to the whole Superman bit. Yeah, having read a lot of Superman's best comic runs and series myself, recurring thing a lot of people don't seem to know about Lex Luthor is beneath all his talk of intelligence, bravado, and hating Superman, he is kind of a whiny bitch. He's just really good at just like talking his way into thinking that he's like this badass genius, which he is. But behind like his motivation of hating Superman is ultimately he's everything he wishes he was. And he's like, I cannot fathom that this guy has all this power and he doesn't want to be as evil as I am. Like, if I had his power, I'd be a god to you people. Why doesn't Superman want to do it? He just can't comprehend it.
Yeah, he's just a jelly little hoe. A jelly little hoe.
Like, it's even funnier in Red Son where Superman was born in fucking the Soviet Union and he's technically a bad guy, but his better nature gets the better of him and he becomes a good guy in the end and helps dissolve the Soviet Union. And Lex Luthor starts off as a good guy trying to take down Russia's Man of Steel, but then he quickly becomes a bad guy because at the end of the day, Lex's motivation is he just wants to be better than Superman. And it was less about saving America and it was more about, I just want to fucking kill Superman. Yeah, so there's like a role reversal at the end of Red Son, which is pretty funny how that worked out.
So what you're saying is that you can be the smartest man in the room and still be the villain?
Yes. Unless you see the error of your ways.
Yeah, and you're most likely going to be the villain, actually.
Oh my God.
And that's when you're the Liver King.
That's when anti-intellectualism is a disease.
Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that, Abel. Tell me more about that. What is that? Is this code for brain rot? What are you telling me here?
Anti-intellectualism?
Yeah.
It's the cultural norm that people just dislike smart people. They dislike learning. they don't value education in general. And it's kind of a rampant issue going across not just this country, but it just seems to be an issue around the world, more or less.
Is that new though?
No, it's always been a thing. It's been a thing ever since academics started taking a bigger role in society.
Is that why so many people do not like Oh no, this is gonna get us some political stuff. Eric, I know what you're doing here.
Academics, business are always inherently political.
Next topic, goddammit. We're not gonna talk about sweet Elon Musk right now. Get out of here. Nope, next topic.
Yes, basically intellectualism, anti-intellectualism takes away value from people that force you to critically think or just like understand how the world works, because in a simplified way, dumber people are easier to manipulate. And as long as you can con them into thinking they're the smart ones for not believing the mainstream academics, like, then they're the ones winning.
Yeah, but there's also different roles too. Like there's different, there's intellect. I see where you're going with anti-intellectualism. There's also like a generic term of like conscientiousness and whether people want to be conscientious about, their actions or how they affect the world, and what conscientiousness can lead to empathy. Allegedly, genetically, we can all be predisposed to different levels of it. I mean, that's just someone's theory, and I've always thought that was a fascinating concept. I don't know if it's necessarily anti-intellectualism. Can it just be blatant ignorance? Like, we can all be ignorant in our own ways.
Ignorance can be influenced by it.
And so it's not stupidity, because I mean, I can sense in your tone that like
stupidity is the refusal to learn and sitting in your ignorance because you refuse to learn.
I don't disagree, and that's also there's agreeableness, there's openness, and allegedly there's we all have different character traits, and some of that character traits is people that are more open or more conservative, essentially, which is very fascinating how that works.
Yeah, one of the biggest lies told to people, not just like smart people, dumb people, whatever, is that everyone has, like you said, everyone has their different like roles in society. Like not everyone's going to be like this next genius or like the next billionaire, the next star football player. Like some people are just average. Some people are below average. Some people excel at things and whatever. The problem with academics in a sense is it sells false promises to people. So like it's kind of a joke, not necessarily a joke, but it's just kind of like this saying where one of the hardest things to do as a teacher is trying to convey to your students' parents, like, sorry, little Timmy's just average. He's not amazing at any particular thing, because everyone wants to believe their kid is special. And that's natural. That's just how parents are. Good parents, at least.
Damn, you're hitting home to Papa Nasty right now.
Yeah, I don't know where else to take this, but I'm trying to say is, yes, everyone has their role in society. Everyone can be different levels of average, excel, not average, whatever. But the rise in anti-intellectualism is just that it tries to convince majority populations in education, graduates, whatever, not to value the word of people that know what they're talking about because fuck it. I don't know.
That's not a new concept either, though.
No, it's been around ever since the rise of academics and education as science evolved.
Which can be taken back all the way to like either like
the Renaissance,
the Enlightenment, or the Renaissance. Exactly.
Actually, that's what I read into it. Like the rise of anti-intellectualism was in direct response to the Enlightenment, because whole motivation of conservative values, or lack of a better word, is they want to keep things the way they are and not change things, which is usually the goal of progressive movements, which was what the Enlightenment and the Renaissance were. That's where the root of anti-intellectualism started, and it's always been here and there throughout the various times in history.
It no longer worked for the system. Like if prior to that, like a doctor who worked for the king said one thing, you had to believe him. But now that it was contrary to what was essentially like the ruling class said, now you have two different sides of an argument, and it makes sense to have two different sides of an argument. That's just how an argument works. And so now it's just no longer how it should be. And like, we can never enforce an idea. Because then that's not an idea anymore. It's just a law. like, sure, let's make these laws happen, but then you're just gonna spawn more rebellion, and there's gonna be a new enlightenment, whatever that may be, like for better or worse.
Yeah. And, sometimes with intelligence, it's interesting because if we put those two in a survival state, right? And you put these two people in a room, like say, like Abel said, you put a high intelligent person in a room with the same person, maybe of a low intelligent person, like Abel's also kind of talking about, and it was a fight to the death. Who do you think's going to win? Most likely the low intelligent person is going to choke the shit out of the high intelligent person. So does that always...
Yeah, okay, but what if the high intelligent person had any level of training? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could pull up statistics that most low intelligent people are probably the more nastier, crazier people. I mean, MMA fighters, boxers.
There is a correlation with lower cognitive ability and a predisposition to violent behavior.
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes it's one of those things that, depending on the state, yes, we are all needed in some way. So to disparage one another maybe isn't the right way to go forward as a civilized society. Because in a free society, that can go, they can get pretty nasty. And thank God we don't live like those. But what's the next topic, Eric?
I think this is a fun conversation, but I think Papa Nasty's getting heated about it because just like a crazy conversation.
I actually liked hearing him articulate some stuff. That was really cool.
I know. I enjoyed you saying like we shouldn't disparage individuals. It's like, bro, okay, Mr. Fucking Intelligent over here. Wow, okay. Well, I guess that means if we get in a room together, I guess I'm choking you out all crazy. Because you're Mr. Smarty Pants over here.
We know that's not gonna happen,
Mr. Smarty Pants using big words.
You put me in a room with both you two. I'm killing you guys in 5 minutes.
It's just an interesting concept. Like when having a social conversation about, like, does this shit even matter after all? Like, does it even fucking matter? Is it any different than
the dumbest motherfucker I know? I won't say his name, but is like one of the best carpenters and like fucking handyman that I've ever come across, and that fucking I've met, and it's like it doesn't make any fucking sense. But you get this motherfucker a few drinks in, and he's talking about how he's fucking aliens probed him, and he's fucking NASA secret agent, and he went to the military, and this motherfucker
found what he was good at.
No, didn't do that. But yeah, he can fucking build an amazing deck. He could fucking make a nice stairway. He can fucking redesign a bathroom. He could redesign fucking a shower. He can do crazy thing, all these like handyman shit. So it's like, I think there's, when it comes to intelligence, it's like there's multiple different categories for what that should be measured instead of just overall.
There's intelligence, there's wisdom, there's skills, physical skills, and all that stuff, analytical skills, and like
there's street smarts, there's book smarts. Yeah,
like even like scientists studying the brain will like point that out. Like there's so much we don't understand about how the brain works. It's really bad to just bring it down to like X person is smarter than Y person. Like that's debatable because everyone excels in different ways and their brains work in different ways.
Like, if, me and Eric are in a prison cell. Eric's gonna be making the bed, and he knows that. That's what's gonna happen.
Absolutely not.
Me and Abel are in a prison cell. Abel's making top ramen for dinner. That's how it's gonna go.
He's gonna eat it all at once.
More intel.
You're not getting a single noodle, bitch. You're gonna eat your noodles out the toilet when I'm done with it. God damn.
Yeah. Because in that atmosphere of prison and or jail, intelligence only goes so far.
Oh, okay. So this is an interesting comparison considering none of us has been to prison.
Obviously.
I was gonna say the one behaving in the library is the one who's gonna get out early on parole.
Yeah, exactly.
If he doesn't get raped in the library, oh my god!
And this is we're talking prison. There's jail. There's different levels of all this, and also intelligence can apply to anybody, whether they're violent or not. I mean, that's the whole point of Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, some serial killers are very intelligent too.
Yeah, and then like Good Will Hunting's the whole point of him is he's wildly intelligent, but he chooses to live, a modest life.
That was something I wanted to touch on with the joke about intelligence being a bell curve. There's like this meme that goes around. It's like three soy jacks in the meme, and it's like a graph that goes, ooh, like it starts flat, goes up, and then goes back down, and it's flat again. And it talks about like the person at the front of the graph is supposed to be the dumb person. The person at the top of it's the rather intelligent person. And the person at the end of the graph is like the genius. And the joke basically is that when you have the genius and the idiot both coming to the same conclusion, it's because the intelligent person, there's a thing that intelligent people tend to overcomplicate and overthink their problems. And so that's why I wanted to say like the whole intelligence is a bell curve type deal. Some people just overthink complicated issues, whereas sometimes the simplest solution is the one where you just don't think too much.
And I also want to bring up the point. It's like, none of this is new. None of this is groundbreaking. Where you just turned 30. I'm about to turn 30. Papa Nasty is awfully close to 30. We're just simply aware of how the world works now. This has nothing to do with any sort of intelligence whatsoever. We just finally looked up from the Xbox and we're like, oh, damn, life is crazy. Like, we never thought about this back when we were fucking 18. It's just now that we're looking up from it's now that we moved from one screen to another. It's like you move from the Xbox screen to your phone screen where now you have constant access to information where people are pumping you full of ideologies. It's like now you're going to think all these crazy things where you're like, oh, I have these convictions about, the world around me. And it's like, this is how the world has always been. People have always had these convictions. Like you said, none of us are special. None of us are interesting. We're all fucking dumb, or else we would have, we'd all be fucking, millionaires or something by now. Because what's fascinating about the current world is that people have solved the meta. Like, they know how to get rich, and none of us did. So we didn't abuse the meta knowledge, whatever that is. But it's like, are we gatekept? Are we gatekept? Can we? And that's like a very philosophical question about like America and like where the fuck we live and shit.
Kind of reminds me of what I heard about like what this one vet said about how like I was talking to him and we were talking about like how people like I said earlier, people are lied to at a young age that one person can't change the world. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like a person can do something radically that changes the world, but not everyone's that person. Especially like when you talk about like individual foot soldiers or grunts in the military. Yeah, he said like, yeah, more often than not, the person who does anything that has any actual effect on events happening is probably a little higher up the chain of command because they're the ones that authorize these things to go on.
I believe what it takes to do something special in this world is you have to have some kind of you need passion. You need passion and you need drive and you need to work hard. And that's how it goes. And somewhere along the way, you could get lucky. But, and that is a good example, like, regardless, like, I understand where you're going with this, but, yeah, he had conviction. He did the thing. Yeah, it's like, you got to work fucking hard if you want to accomplish shit in your life. It's like, there's no one else we can blame, especially living in America. Like, there's a reason why people try to come here. There's a lot of upward mobility. We just have to access it.
Yeah, a lot of research to be done to progress forward, but we all are fucking busy working 40 plus hours. We don't have the fucking, and the little free time that we do get, we're invested into our friends, our genius friends and our podcast friends. And so, of course, we're going to be focusing on that, then looking into shit. How can I have a side gig? What can I do a little bit more to, not pay so much in taxes? Or what can I do to blah, 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 blah,
It's some of it's patience too. What do they say? People overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in 10 years. We're all on a positive forward trajectory because we're taking care of our shit now. We're staying employed. We're doing exactly what we can do to take care of our fucking selves. Like, that's all we can ask for in like modern society. The people that are impressive that we see on the internet, it's like, wow, that guy's a genius. That guy's rich. That guy's got a big dick. It's like, we're never going to be those guys.
Wait, what? Why are we looking at those
that
guys?
Guy has,
no.
It's, that guy's rich. That guy's intelligent. That guy has an average sized penis. We're never going to be those guys. So why do we keep trying? Yeah,
that's great.
No, we're like, yeah, we get to live great average lives. And you know what makes these lives not so average is getting to experience joy because everyone's stressed the fuck out about everything. And I am too. And we are all too. We get stressed out about the smallest things, the biggest things. Understandable. And like trying to bring it back and live a joyous life instead of stressed out, trying to climb the ladder life, trying to worry about intellectualism. For example, like, Abel is a philosopher at his heart. I feel like I'm pretty philosophical at my heart. Pop Nasty's pretty fucking philosophical at his heart. It's like hard not to. It's like sometimes there's like philosophy, how the world should work, and then there's like, how is my world working, and am I comfortable with it? It's like you got to be comfortable with it because I'm gonna go to sleep tonight, and when I wake up tomorrow, I'm gonna be living in my fucking life.
Well, some of the best philosophers are also narcissists. So, we all fit in that category. That's why.
Is that a thing?
I mean, with some of them, yeah, with how they talk and how you should do this and this and that. It's like, it's.
Oh yeah, it depends on like what angle you go. I do enjoy speculation. I know when I did take philosophy, I always thought some of the like OGs were pretty interesting, like Socrates. Fascinating concepts. I did like it more when they started talking about like free will. It's like, for example, there is a philosopher who basically said that free will is how do you put it, right? Like free will is a cage. We are burdened by our free will. The fact that we have free will, it's like the illusion of choice. We have so many options, and so we're a slave to our free will because no matter what we do, we're never going to be fucking satisfied because we have the free will to do something else. But we didn't do that thing. And so now when we go to bed at night, we think about the things we should have done because I have free will. Why did I choose to sit down and play fucking PlayStation for 17 hours? These are good questions. And it's like, what if instead?
I think that, it's also sometimes like it's overanalyzing, overthinking. It's like Big Bang Theory, for instance, like Sheldon. It's like we all have that friend that's like Sheldon. He doesn't know like the jokes. He doesn't know sarcasm.
He doesn't know when he's being a dick.
He doesn't know when he's being a dick or an asshole.
That's a good one.
But then sometimes but then he's the sweetest person at the most randomest times. You're like, how did he get that? And it's just like sometimes, he just becomes, he just settles on being a person instead of trying to be the smartest man in the room. And I think when you overthink things and when you try to like break everything down, I think that's where it's like, hey, sometimes you just gotta fucking relax and go with the flow. And if life gave me fucking lemons and I got fucking lemons, what do we, that's it.
So you're talking about different levels of things because there's intelligence, there's like, common intelligence, there's emotional intelligence. And I think emotional intelligence, social intelligence go hand in hand. There's a very fascinating fun concept. Extroverted, introverted, antisocial. That's different than introverted. Isn't that pretty interesting? You could be an extroverted, antisocial guy. You could go out and just be fucking obnoxious. And you could just love to talk to people and just be so goddamn annoying. But it's like you're antisocial. Like, for example, I remember reading a book or listening to a book by fucking Mike Tyson. And he would talk about his antisocial behavior. Because he would go out, he'd be fucking annoying, he'd rob people. And he's like, that's pretty antisocial. And I was like, that's such a fascinating.
Oh
I know. I'm like, that's so it's just like not binding with social norms. Like being extroverted, introverted is one thing. Being antisocial is another. And so it's like being emotionally intelligent, socially intelligent, that in itself is a skill. And so there's people that can be extremely socially intelligent, but not be intelligent, I guess. I don't fucking know. Who cares? Like, it's cool that they've fucking.
What would you say? Mathematically intelligent? Would you say what would be the word? Like, they are socially intelligent, but what would be the term you're looking for?
I think technically, like, genius and intellect is measured by seeing patterns where other people don't see them. But it's funny because, like, when you're socially intelligent, you can see social patterns where other people don't see them, and so you can link together a
pattern
joke.
recognition is how IQ is measured. That's basically what the IQ test is. When I took it, it's basically a bunch of pattern recognition or logic recognition where, like, do you see what all these variables have in common? Or, like, looking at this sequence of numbers, what one is next in line? Like, stuff like that.
And that's what math is, too. It's pattern
it's
recognition.
Mostly math.
So but that's why language is pattern recognition. And so if you're good at math, you should be good at language. If you're good at either of those things, you should be good at social interactions because social interactions is pattern recognition. It's recognizing where to say something, when to say it. It's so fascinating. And how to be a revenant, where it's like, people enjoy novelty experiences. And so you see the pattern recognition of like, how you doing? I'm doing great. You're doing good too. But and then you know where to throw a curveball in, and you're like, but then my wife was hitting me the other day, and then they're like, what the fuck? And they're very entertained because it's like that you're taking a step above. You know, you're playing jazz
with
if you will.
this one time at band camp.
You're being creative, and that's the difference between math and with social experiences is you can be creative like that.
So at the end of the day, there's different levels of intelligence for different categories, and all we could do is accept each other, love each other, joke around with each other. If not, we'll end up killing each other, or worse.
Speaking of intelligence, I wanted to ask Papa Nasty, tell me more about this conspiracy that supposedly Nikola Tesla doesn't exist, because this was the first I ever heard of it.
Dude, oh my God, this is, every now and then I pull out like the dumbest fucking conspiracy. This is one that like Nikola Tesla did not exist because how many patents he fucking pumped out within his time frame does not make any sense. Also, there's only X amount of pictures of him. Also, he doesn't have much family and they all died off. We can't get connected with the family, blah, blah, blah. And all these other, crazy things. And it's just one of those, it was one of those, dumb ones where I'm like, okay, we got to expose this one. We got to talk about this one.
There's Space Jam reaching on that one.
I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. There are some conspiracies around Tesla, but it's a reach and also it's a disrespect to him because this fucking man did a lot for us. And that's fucking disrespectful to his memory. That's why I'm so like, we're going to call this bullshit out and we're going to fucking, but there are some weird shit around it. Eric, you have some of the details, right?
So it originated on TikTok, of course.
Oh, it's a fucking TikTok conspiracy.
A fucking TikTok.
Someone just thought they were funny, and they said he's a fabricated figure created to mask other government research or to simplify the messy web of technological process. It's based on sparse verified photos, gaps in his biographical records, and the classic "he was too ahead of his time" argument. But the debunk is, during the time he existed, there were literally so many patents that he put out because he was fucking psychotic. And there were firsthand interviews that were put out. And so if it was fake, it would have been a massive decade-long hoax. And then also,
so many people have had to be in on it too.
But also his identity could have been a composite covering up the work of a secret team, private inventors of shadowy agencies. Kind of like, I mean, who do we attribute as not Romeo and Juliet was written by Shakespeare. Now we look back at Shakespeare and we understand Shakespeare is actually very likely several writers that all go by the name William Shakespeare, and that's not one singular writer.
What? I thought it was just a writer.
I thought you were gonna say like Tom Clancy.
Wait, is what? Hold on.
Wait, what? Abes, what do you got?
Tom Clancy was originally a pen name, but ever since he died, well, before he died, he also authorized people to like write books under the Tom Clancy banner. But he has since died for good. But yeah, like the first few books and stuff were actually written by him. I forgot what his real name was.
So basically, we're saying he's a ghost. He has ghostwriters.
You're saying he's a Splinter Cell.
Sam Fisher.
What?
Sam Fisher, that's the name of the Splinter Cell guy.
Damn it. I'm also looking at, it's funny as I'm looking at my Shakespeare conspiracy I'm bringing up, and most scholars say no, that it's not true. There's zero evidence that anyone else wrote the plays. The records that do exist, legal documents, theater contracts, and contemporary references support that William Shakespeare of Stratford was indeed the author. So me trying to compare Nikola Tesla to Shakespeare is perfect because it's saying
this conspiracy falls flat on its face.
Exactly.
The problem with the Shakespeare one is that he retired at a super young age and he never wrote anything after that. Also, I know there was ties to somebody else writing it. I don't know if it was multiple, but Shakespeare lived out the rest of his life and never wrote anything and just became a simple farmer. And the dude that was William Shakespeare was a complete oaf, is what it said. And that was not even his real name, and that's what obviously, right, it's a It's a made up name, a
The
Shakespearean
reason people
name.
suspect it is because Shakespeare has no university education, no record of literary training, and came from a small town merchant family. Not typical credentials, his vocabulary, his ability, and that there's a few people that they believe actually wrote it. The debate persists because it's tantalizing. People love the idea of a hidden genius in this grand deception. The multiple writers theory isn't entirely crazy if you consider that Elizabethan theater was collaborative. Writers often punched up each other's work, but Shakespeare was likely collaborative with himself. Yeah.
Yeah, that last point makes sense.
Was it also considered low level to be like if you were, because so supposedly it was somebody of the crown, it was like a cousin or something like that, but somebody of the crown that wanted to do this, that wanted to be a writer, but it was considered low level, and that's why they let him, they ghost wrote for William Shakespeare, and it became a whole thing. But like, if you read that, like, how could they produce something like Hamlet? How they could produce something like Romeo and Juliet? It's just kind of absurd.
And the idea is that it's collaborative of like talented individuals. It is, William Shakespeare's name was reputable. And so if we all put it under this pen name, then we know we'll see the light of day. So just because you're good at writing, there's a whole nother side of being reputable.
I at least know for a fact that Hamlet specifically, he didn't come up with, he just translated and reappropriated a much older Scandinavian story. Because I learned this when I watched The Northman and I did some research on it. Because The Northman's plot is essentially exactly the same thing as Hamlet. And it turns out that it's a older Scandinavian story whose the main character's name is Amleth, is forced to flee his kingdom. His dad, the king, is slain by his bitch-ass brother. So he grows up and he trains, and then he comes back. He's like, I'm going to avenge my father. I'm going to kill my uncle. Like, is that not that's literally the Lion King Hamlet. That's literally...
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Now you want to watch The Northman.
Yeah.
I've already seen it. I loved it.
Oh, did you like it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I learned this when I watched The Northman. Yeah. So at least in the case of Hamlet, he didn't necessarily come up with it. He just wrote a stage play for that story, because that's basically what it was.
How perfect was that motherfucker for doing Nosferatu then? Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
He's such a period piece motherfucker. God damn, that's cool.
Okay. But I'm just, with the William Shakespeare thing, if you guys heard like 2 weeks from now that I was fucking evolving fucking string theory, and I was like fucking coming up with these new stuff, you'd be like, that's not fucking Papa Nasty. You'd be like, that's somebody else right there. That's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
There it is.
That's the fucking craziness out of it.
Yep, call him Neil that ass Tyson. I know what you're talking about. Let's go.
Neil that nasty.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to Three Stupid Dogs.
We got philosophical on this one.
Oh my God. Yeah. Fucking, we appreciate y'all listening. I'm Papa Nasty signing off. Abraham Lincoln.
See ya.
Eric West.
Might have got philosophical, but I was pretty hard. All right. Have a good night.
Thank you guys.
Later.